For anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s, Mumm-Ra is unforgettable. The transformation, the threats, the screaming of his own name into the sky. And then Lion-O beats him every time, like a rule, like gravity. But hidden in the pages of the WildStorm comics from 2002, there's a single page that changes every loss you ever watched. Because Mumm-Ra wasn't losing, he was waiting. ThunderCats is in its early stages of rebuilding. Lion-O and his team have returned home. The Eye of ThunderCats is calling surviving Thunderians back. A new kingdom is rising, stone by stone. And before a single villain arrives, the first crack appears from within. Wily Cat, the younger of the Thunder Kittens, goes to Lion-O and makes his case. He's ready to be a commander. He's earned it. Lion-O listens and gives him an answer he's not ready to hear. Leadership isn't about wanting the position. It's about being the one who shows up when no one else will. Wily Cat doesn't understand it yet. But the lesson is coming, in the form of a cage, inside the Black Pyramid, with Mumm-Ra waiting below. While the ThunderCats rebuild, the ancient spirits of evil send a warrior from the darkness. The Shadow Master, a creature of pure shadow, no body, no history, no weakness the ThunderCats had ever encountered before. He came to study them, to understand how they fight, how they hold together under pressure. The ThunderCats won. They always win. Mumm-Ra watches from his cauldron, cold and without panic, and arrives at a conclusion that changes everything. The ThunderCats always win. He doesn't say it with rage. He says it the way a chess player says it. Recognition. And then he turns to Ma-Mutt with a single instruction. Bring me the littlest ThunderCat. Wily Kit and Wily Cat were racing through the forest on their hoverboards. Wily Cat pulled ahead, laughing, firing a smoke bomb, disappearing into the trees. And then he was gone. Ma-Mutt, enormous, silent, in bat form, came out of the sky without a sound and took him clean off his board. Wily Kit looked up and screamed his name into empty air. Wily Cat woke up inside a cage. Suspended in the Black Pyramid, lightning crashing outside. Mumm-Ra was waiting below, circling slowly, patient, like something that had already decided how this ended. The message was simple. No harm would come to the boy. All he wanted was the Sword of Omens. Lion-O arrived with Panthro and Cheetara. Mumm-Ra offered the trade. Lion-O refused, and Mumm-Ra began to change, wrappings tearing, the room filling with something ancient, something that had been making deals before ThunderCats ever existed. Ancient spirits of evil transformed this decaying form to Mumm-Ra, the ever-living. Lion-O raised the Sword of Omens and gave his team one order. Panthro and Cheetara would free Wily Cat. This fight was his. What followed was exactly what it looked like. Lion-O holding Mumm-Ra in combat, while Panthro found the sarcophagus, the vessel of everything Mumm-Ra was, and destroyed it without hesitation. The power collapsed. Lion-O stood over him. This ends now, Mumm-Ra, and it did. The ThunderCats walked out alive. Wily Cat was safe. Something was off. Mumm-Ra knew about the sarcophagus. Why didn't he protect it? Cheetara had the answer ready. He's arrogant, she said. He always underestimates them. That's why they always win. It was a good answer. It was also exactly wrong, because the moment they were gone, Mumm-Ra began to laugh. This was never about the sword. I needed the combined energies of the Lord of the ThunderCats and the Eye of ThunderCats to carry out my plan. You and the others were just a conduit. But you've helped me more than you can possibly understand. He paused. ThunderCats will die by my hands, but it shall always be you who sealed her fate. And then he showed what he had actually been building toward. Inside a sarcophagus wrapped in cobwebs, something enormous began to move. A saber-toothed warrior, armored, ancient. a Thunderian who had once defeated Jaga himself in single combat and been sealed away for treachery against his own people. Grune the Destroyer, not a ghost, not a specter, a mortal enemy brought back in living flesh, with centuries of rage stored up against the House of Cloudus. Mumm-Ra made the terms immediately clear. Grune was mortal now, subject to every weakness of any other Thunderian, including Thundranium. And Mumm-Ra had retrieved his original mace from the churning rocks, his own weapon, the one thing capable of killing him. Cross Mumm-Ra once, and the great warrior dies by his own hand. Then Mumm-Ra placed the sword of Plundar in Grune's other hand, and the deal was made. Grune contacted Lion-O through the communicator. Calm, almost amused, he called himself the prodigal son of Thundera, challenged Lion-O to a duel at Crystal Canyon at dawn, to the death, for the lordship of the ThunderCats. Lion-O didn't hesitate. He had to go. He walked into Crystal Canyon alone, with only Snarf beside him as the sun came up. Grune was already there, bigger, older, battle-hardened by centuries, the warrior who had brought Jaga himself to his knees. Say hello to your father for me. What followed was the kind of fight that defines a warrior. Grune hit hard and with purpose, with the weight of everything Lion-O's bloodline had taken from him. But he hadn't fought the son of Cloudus before. When it ended, Lion-O had the Sword of Omens at Grune's throat. I don't need to kill. I just need to win. And I have. Grune refused banishment, came at him one final time, and Lion-O sent him off the edge of the canyon, into the dark. As the sun rose fully over Thundera, it looked like victory. It felt like victory. Inside the Black Pyramid, Mumm-Ra was already moving to the next phase. The ThunderCats' arrogance is going to be their final undoing. All I had to do was let them win a few battles, and they forget there's a war. The Shadow Master, the kidnapping, the Black Pyramid, the sarcophagus, Grune himself. Every obstacle designed to be overcome, every defeat chosen. Mumm-Ra had handed them victories the way a trap is baited, and they had taken every single one. And then the final piece. The one that makes everything else devastating. That cocky little whelp Lion-O will not even be around to protect them. Thanks to a simple temporal spell, Lion-O won't even realize time has not stopped while he is away. They'll never know what hit them. But those who survive will all know whom their new lord and master is. The sarcophagus lid slammed shut. He is Mumm-Ra, the ever-living. And if you want to know the dark origin of another classic villain that TV kept hidden from you, subscribe to the channel, because the next video is about a character who seemed like pure evil from the moment they appeared on screen, but had a past that would make you question everything you thought you knew about why someone chooses the wrong side. See you then.